I just want to be a drill instructor. I want to be a drill instructor because Mike Brown was a drill instructor. And he told me all the stories, man, of him being a drill instructor. And I wanted to be a drill instructor. But I was a corporal. And back then, you had to be a sergeant to go to school.
Yeah.
And I should have probably listened to, Nelson Colburn and some other folks who are like, go to the depot or the staff sergeant, man. You get taken care of, man. Like, they take care of the staff sergeants and the gunnies, man. You a sergeant, man. You're expendable, man. They got 1,000 sergeants out there, man. They gonna replace you. But I did it, man. I was like, however I need to get to the depot, man, and be a drill instructor, that's what I'm gonna do. And so I took orders, I re-enlisted. I went to Weapons Field Training Battalion on Parris Island, South Carolina. Because my mindset was, if I'm there already and I get promoted to sergeant, I'm gonna put a drill instructor package in.
Right away.
And I'm already there. So it's like, I had to walk across the street. I'm at the high school, like, gonna save the Marine Corps money. And maybe I should have listened, but man, everything worked out, man.
Yeah.
Better than it probably should have. I went to Weapons Field Training Battalion, became a coach, block NCO, range safety officer, pit NCO. Man, I had so many billets over there, man. I learned so much, man. I built so many relationships. A lot of them with the drill instructors, man. And I'm thankful I did, man, because by the time I went to the high school, I already had credibility in the streets on Parris Island. So they kind of knew who I was and what I brought to the table. And from Weapons Training Battalion, I got promoted to sergeant. I put in a package for DI school. I got denied. For a few reasons. But I wasn't accepting it, man. I was like, there's no way. I got denied for a year.
I want to pause right there because, like, one of my questions later is, like, how do you deal, or, like, how did you overcome things when, like, you really wanted something, you really worked for it, and, like, it didn't come to fruition?
Man, my plan B is to make another way to make plan A work.
I love that.
I was going to become a drill instructor no matter what, bro. Like, I was not giving up. Man, I had a sergeant major tell me, you'll never be a drill instructor. I had the medical officer who had to sign the package for you to be medically qualified for an SDA, Special Duty Assignment, or drill instructor, tell me you'll never be a drill instructor. And, man, I told him, I said, yes, I will, man, watch. And I met another mentor of mine, man, Sergeant Major DeAndre Gillen. I had just graduated Corpus course, which I didn't want to go to, man. I went to Corpus course, and I was challenged and humbled the first time in my career in Corpus course, man. I'll tell that story in a minute. So I met, then at the time was Gunnery Sergeant DeAndre Gillen. He's a sergeant major now. My platoon sergeant, who also, took care of me, Sid Gonzalez, great dude, man. 03 through his whole career, man, he was a drill instructor too, man. Dude was a Marine, took care of me. One of the best dudes I ever met, man. He took me to graduation, to go watch the graduation. I can't remember why we went, man, but he just picked me, was like, Triebell, get your Charlies on, we're going to graduation. Alright. So I got us on. Put my Charlies on, man. I was a corporal, just graduated Corpus course. I was a gun hole recipient and autograph for Corpus course. Got both awards. So we go to this graduation, recruit graduation. I was standing up top, watching down low, and Gunner Sergeant DeAndre Gillen approached me, and he thought I was a drill instructor that got in trouble, got demoted.
Oh shit.
And he was asking me about, like, what I did, what happened, and I was like, what do you mean? And then Sid Gonzalez actually was like, oh no, he's a corporal, man, but he wants to be a drill instructor. And I don't know if it was my presence, my demeanor, I don't know what it was, man. But DeAndre Gillen was like, you want to be a drill instructor? I said, yes, Sergeant. He was like, all right, as soon as you get promoted, call me. All right. The day I got pinned, bro, boom, I called DeAndre Gillen. And I said, I submit the package. He goes, let me know if you need me. All right. So notice, I always say that now, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Let me know if you need me, man. I'm here. And I submitted my package, got denied for a year, bro. And luckily, I kept in contact, and Gillen was still there, man. And I texted him. I said, my package got denied, but anything you can do. He was like, come see me. He was the 2nd Battalion Drill Master at the time. And he was about to be the regimental drill master. And he was like, come see me. I went to his office. Man, I walked in his office, bro. By the time I walked in and sat down, he said, let's go. Let's go. Put me in his brand new Dodge Charger, right? And drove me to DI school. And had me sit down with the DI school first sergeant. Now Sergeant Major, he was the first sergeant cook then. Then Sergeant Major cook. And I sat on his couch, bro, and he asked me a few questions about being a drill instructor. And I don't know if I got the answer right or wrong, but he made a call to, at the time, the DI monitor, Master Sergeant Packard, and said, I got to bring him office right now, Sergeant. I'm about to send you an email. I need him to get orders to DI school. DI class, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm going to be on the air station, Buford Air Station, next week. Tell him to come see me. And then, all right. And they already prepped the battlefield, man. They already said he got tattoos, man. Just let it know.
Was that one of the reasons you got denied, was the sleep?
That was one of them, man. So I went to Buford Air Station. I didn't know what I was walking into. But I went into the auditorium at Buford Air Station. I went in Charlie's. And when I walked in, I was about to walk up to Master Sergeant Packard, the DI monitor. And before I got to her, First Sergeant Cook showed up and said, come on. And I was like, damn. All right. So, like, just leaders being there, man, and showing up for you, man. Like, that spoke a lot to me. So he brought me to...
Like, using their time to...
Yeah, man. Like, he left his duty at DI school first sergeant, came to Buford Air Station, which was, 15, 20 minutes away, found out when I was going to be there, and showed up and physically brought me to Master Sergeant Packard. It was like, hey, Master Sergeant, this is him. And she looked at my tattoos and was like, I don't know. And he said, and she had a tattoo right here on her hand. And he goes, really? Come on. And she goes, all right, I'll get him orders. I didn't want to believe it at the time. I'm one of those guys where I believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
So I went to sergeant school, man. I was in Jacksonville, North Carolina, Camp Johnson at sergeant school. And my platoon sergeant then became Derek Ford. He's retired now. He called me. He was like, hey, what time you get out of school today? I said, I don't know, probably around 16, 1700, 4 or 5 o'clock p.m. I'll meet you at this place for dinner. All right. And he had this vanilla folder, man, the little folder. And he said, I got something for you. We met for dinner. I forgot where we went, man. I was like, what do you mean? I was graduating like that week, I think.
Yeah.
And he said, I want to deliver this to you personally. I was like, what is it? And he slid me that paperwork. I opened it up, man. Boom. My order to DI school, man. And I was like, oh, damn. Like, first of all, man, I want to be like, I told you, man, I was going to do it, man. But just him bringing it up 5 hours, bro. 5.5 hours up to North Carolina. To one, treat me for dinner, and for two, to bring me my orders, man. Everybody knew, man. Triebell just want to be a drone instructor. I was telling everybody, man. I was telling the general I want to be a drone instructor, the sergeant major. I mean, the colonel. Back then, the leaders that I had, man, were just phenomenal, man. Chris Davis.
They sound amazing.
I mean,
if you could like pinhole like a handful of qualities, what are the qualities that like really show that you're an exceptional leader, that you really care about the people you're leading?
I think the two most important components of leadership are character and humility. But action-wise, right? That's a characteristic, right?
Yeah.
It's a trait. Action-wise, I want to say it's just showing the compassion, right? And loving your Marines, sailors, airmen, soldiers, football players, rugby players, whoever it is, man, loving your people, man. Just really having a genuine concern for the success of others, and showing up. You ain't got to be the strongest. You ain't got to be the fastest. You ain't got to be the smartest, man. 99.9% of the times, all you got to do is show up, man. That's it. And if, your team, your people, your players, your Marines see that you show up, man, they will fight for you. They will die for you, man. And they'll play for you. But I think that's a big thing of action-wise, just showing up and showing compassion, man, and loving your people, man, and having a genuine concern for their well-being and their success. But, I still carry this saying to this day. Colonel Leonard told me, and I wish he would have told me this back when I was, 13, 14, 15 years old, but he told me this as a young sergeant, man. He told me, be your own man. And that's hard to do in the Marine Corps, man. That's hard to do on a team. That's hard to do in any organization or institution. Be your own man, because you got everybody, you got different groups. You got different people doing X, Y, and Z things, doing different things, trying to influence, to do this or be this way. But you got to be your own man. And he told me that, man, and that still sticks to me today. So after DI school, I got orders to DI school. And then I got orders to 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, which the only thing I wanted was to be 3rd Battalion. I went to Lehman Company. I went to Lehman Company because, like I said, man, from being from weapons, I had credibility in the streets already. So I got pulled to Lehman Company. Man, when I tell you that I hated my life for my first cycle of the Drill Center, man. I mean, it was to the point where I don't think I ever went home for the whole cycle, man. But the First Sergeant Schaefer really let the chiefs and the Drill Instructors run the company. Rightfully so, man. I mean, we were probably the most dominant, feared company, most successful company on the depot at the time, man. Lehman Company was, everybody wanted to be Lehman Company, but nobody wanted to do Lehman Company shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you were getting slayed, bro. Like, the Drill Instructors got trained harder than the recruits sometimes, but because of that expectation, that standard that Lehman Company brought to the depot, when you think about Lehman Company, man, you think about greatness, bro. So, like, my first cycle, man, I remember the chief, Leshinsky, about to pick up, man. About to pick up the new platoon, my first platoon. And he was holding a little, not a formation, man, but just talking to the whole company, man. And I was lead series. And when he was done speaking and talking about, what we're doing tomorrow, what time, whatever he was passing, he looked at me and he goes, and him, he needs to get trained. And I said, oh, man, here we go. I didn't know what I was walking into, man. Yeah. And I think I was the only new drill instructor in the company. Yeah, I think I was the only new one. Maybe there was one more, I forget. But, man, when it was all eyes on T, man, it was all eyes on me, man. It was like I couldn't catch a break, man. To the point where, I would see Rudolph's car in the parking lot, his Dodge Charger, and I'd be like, damn, man, I was hoping his brakes went out this morning, man. Like, I was like, man. But you know what, man? If it wasn't for that cycle, I probably wouldn't be half as successful as I was on the depot. Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show you, man, like, the challenge and doing hard stuff, man. Like, the results are there, man.
They speak for themselves.
Yeah, so I went to Lima Company, man. I did 4 cycles at Lima, 3 cycles at my company. Became the drill master. I'm not going to talk about it, but got relieved. I mean, I can't talk about it, man.
You don't need to talk about it right now.
Yeah. And then I went to IUSC Infantry Unit Leaders course. And then I had orders to 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines. I was never supposed to go to 1-7.
Oh, shit.
I had orders to 2-5. And this is if this is not proof that everything happened for a reason, I don't know what is, man.
This right here?
This right here, man.
I agree.
So, like, when I tell you this, man, everything happened for a reason, man. This is no exaggeration, bro. When I was in IUSC, I had orders since May of 2017 to 2-5. I graduated IUSC in December of 2017. So that's a good, 6-7 months I had orders, right? And I went to Mike Brown's house. Remember I talked about Mike Brown before, man. I went to Mike Brown's house, and I don't know what it was, man. Something just told me to check MOL. I don't know why. And I just checked MOL, man. And it was on my phone. And it said modification to orders. I was like, what's this? And it says V17, Victor 17. And I was looking at Mike Brown. I was over at his house for dinner, man. Taco Tuesday. And I said, man, what's this? He goes, dog, your order got changed to 17. Oh, hell no, that's 29 pounds. I said, I ain't going to 29 pounds. I'm going to 2.5. And the reason why I'm going to 2.5 because...
Where's 2.5?
Pendleton.
Okay.
It's because Sergeant Major Kim Davis was the Sergeant Major 2.5.
Got it.
Years prior. But
you're following
I'm following the footsteps, right?
Yeah.
And 2.5 is the most decorated battalion in the Marine Corps. So 1-3 was the most consecutive deployed unit in the Marine Corps. 2.5 being the most decorated battalion in the Marine Corps. I was like, man, I'm there. And Kim Davis, he was a Sergeant Major. Not at that time, but years prior. And then Joe Pereira, another mentor of mine. He was a company guns in 1-3. He was 2.5 back in the day too, with Sergeant Major Davis. So I'm like, man, I had to go to 2.5, man, to carry on the tradition and the legacy. So, modification orders. That next morning, man, I called the monitor. And when I called and I told him, like, hey, who I was, I'm graduating IUSC, I had orders to 2.5, now they're modified to 1.7. He was like, what are you calling me for? Because you're the monitor, man. You dictate where I go next. You're the one who made the change. So, I'm just saying, like, my no later than date is 31 December 31st, 2017. I graduated IUSC on like December 5th, 2017. I got to go back to Paris Island, get all my stuff, and I was supposed to go to Camp Pendleton, 29 Palms. I was supposed to go to Camp Pendleton. Now I got to change everything and go to 29 Palms. And he said, I'll tell you what. And I thought I got it, man. My man said, you know where Marietta is at? I said, no. He said, well, my son lives in Marietta. I'm in Quantico. Sometimes you got to figure it out. Click. And I was like,
shit.
For real? Like, that's number 2, toxic leader.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And I get it, man. These are the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
But, like, really, man? So.
Could have handled it better.
Yeah, a lot better, man. Could have explained to me the need or, why I was going, right? So, I went to 1.7, man. And I said, you know what, man, I set the orders, man, I'll go. And people, I didn't know the significance of 1.7 until after I got the orders.
Yeah.
When I got the orders, my IUSC instructors were talking about 1.7 and how the traditions and customs and the foundation of 1.7 and the history, man, behind it, and the tradition of 1.7. You think about the very best of the best, Chesty Puller, John Basilone, General Mattis, man, they were all 1.7, bro. And the only battalion in the Marine Corps to be Animal Baker Suicide Charlie. Everybody else is Alpha Bravo Charlie, So I was like, okay, but it's 29 pounds though, man. Like, but then, me coming from the depot, the drill instructor, going back to the infantry, this could really hone my skills, your warfighting skills, become a very well-rounded infantryman. And I was like, let's do it, man. And I went to 1-7 as a staff sergeant, IUSC complete, career course complete. I did it on my PME. And I went to Alpha Company, Animal Company. And I spent maybe a month, maybe 2, as a platoon sergeant for 2nd platoon.
Yeah. That was right when I was getting there.
Yeah, right when you were getting there, man. And next thing you know, man, the company commander, now Major L. Sasser, and First Sergeant R.P. Moore, company guns. All right. And I don't know if you know this. I was only going to be the interim company guns. I wasn't the official company guns.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I didn't know this either until after the fact. So Colonel Barnhart and Sergeant Major Anderson, the monitor, a different monitor, not the top, a different monitor, kept calling and was like, "Hey, I got a gunner on inbound to be company guns for Animal Company." And Colonel Barnhart picked up the phone and be like, "I don't want him. You can send it to me, but he's not going to be a company guns. I got my company guns. Triebell's my company guns."
You were a stellar company.
I didn't know this. So here I am thinking, I'm just filling the seat until someone shows up.
Yeah.
Well, time goes by, and I'm still filling the seat. And that's why the sign, Animal Company sign right outside the company office, the company guns I was blank for a long time. Because we're just waiting for somebody to fill the spot. And it wasn't until after the fact that I found out. I forgot who told me, man. But I don't know if it was Colonel Barnard himself, it was Major El Sasser or First Sergeant or maybe Captain Roger. I don't know, man, but they left me in place, man. And again, it's just leaders believing in you, man. And they left me in place, man, and did the whole pretty much 18-month workup and then in deployment. And then, I appreciate you saying that, man. Stellar company gun, but really, man, if it wasn't for the platoon sergeants, man, it wasn't for the Marines like you, and Andrews and Urena and Reinhardt and Chavez, both of them. If it wasn't for Anderson, if it wasn't for Terrence Hayes, if it wasn't for Major El Sasser, First Sergeant Moore, man, I tell you what, man, like my right hand man, Lou Roger, Captain Roger, the XO, man. None of y'all really saw what went on behind the scenes.
I was a junior. I was busy doing gun drills. I had no idea what the fuck was happening.
You were going up and down doing gun drills by Anderson.
Holmes.
And Holmes, man, like if it wasn't for all of you, man, one, believe it in me, and buying into what the program that we were trying to make or the company that we were trying to build, man. There's no doubt about it, man. Animal Company ran 1-7, man.
Oh yeah. Sure.
I mean, you talking about being proficient in the MOS and as an overall Marine in general, man. Like, we were just dominating everything, man. And 1-7 in general, man, was like top of the top, man. I mean, you couldn't beat 1-7 at that time, man. Like 1-7 was the pinnacle of all infantry units, man. From the top down, to Colonel Barnhart all the way down to the lowest level, like your peers, man. Like, you could not beat us, man. Like, we were ready to go at a moment's notice, man. There's not any infantry battalion that I know that got tasked with more exercises or more like, oh, by the way, you got to go to the border. Oh, by the way, you're on ABTF. Oh, by the way, you got to go to Bridgeport. Oh, by the way, you got to do X, Y, and Z at 29 Palms. By the way, you got to do this. It's like,
now you got to do ITX.
Now you got to go to ITX, but even though we just did it, man, like, and then that deployment was crazy. Like, we were spread everywhere, bro, from Iraq to Afghanistan to Kuwait to the embassy at Baghdad to all over Iraq, man, to the Wadi Guraf out there in the Western Desert in Iraq, to TQ, to Jordan. They were doing exercises out in Djibouti.
Yeah,
Djibouti,
I had some friends who went to Djibouti.
Man, it's like we were everywhere, bro. And then Syria.
Weapons was in Syria.
Like, man, we were everywhere, bro. But like, there was no better team than that, man. And then I got humbled again, man. So I got humbled in my first day of Corpus course, which I think today, I saw it on my phone today. I think today was like the 10-year anniversary of me checking in the Corpus course. And it's funny that today, I'll talk about that in a minute, man. It's funny that, you're here today to talk about it. Because I never forget what was said to me, man.
Can you share that?
Huh?
Can you share what was
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first face of adversity, or I guess getting humbled, was by, I call him my brother, man, Ray Myers. Ray Myers at the time, man, he was an ex-Army Marine Corps, man. He was the poster boy for the Marine Corps, man. The way he walked, talked, led, actions, everything he did, man, was like, that's the guy, man. Everyone would be like Ray Myers, man. Everybody. Just the way that, man, he could walk into a room, man, and everybody would be like, oh, Ray Myers here. You just felt that presence, man.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know it at the time. I kind of knew who he was, but really didn't know him. And here I am, a corporal, arrogant, cocky, because I've been on 3 combat deployments. I was measured promoted in every rank. I went to infantry squadron course. So back then, I don't know if you know, but back then, if you went to if you went to Gysgt infantry squadron course, which was an 11-week course, you didn't have to go to Corpus course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you didn't have to, if you were an 0311 or with an 03 and went to Gysgt, it counted for Corpus course. You didn't go. So when my leadership said, "Hey, Triebell, you going?" I was like, "I don't need to go there. I ain't going."
It was like a little chip and like annoyance of like.
Yeah, man. So like in my mentality, man, back then, man, it was like, if you ain't 03, man, don't talk to me, man. I'm better than you, right? And I got humbled, bro. I never forget, man. I put on my alphas and like, I had a pretty good, stack.
Good. Yeah.
And I walk in, man, to report into Corpus course. And Ray Myers is standing behind the podium. And already I had a bad attitude because I didn't want to be there. Mm-hmm. Right? And I walk in and I said, like, "Good morning, Staff Sergeant Corporal Triebell reporting is ordered." And, man, let me tell you, Ray Myers looked me dead in my face. And he just came up the drill field, man. Yeah. And he said, and he was a director, or the Staff NCOIC of Corpus course. And he said, "How is it that the most decorated corporal since I've been here checks into Corpus course with that sweet ass voice, with no confidence? Get out and do it again." And I was like, who is this dude talking to, man? So now I'm hot, man. I am hot, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm like, man, you can't talk to me like that, man. I'm a corporal, man. I did 3 combat deployments. Well, let me tell you something. Ray Myers didn't care who you were and what you done before that, because right now you were checking in the Corpus course and nothing else mattered, bro. So I went to the very back of the line, bro. I had to do it over again. And I did it over again. And I don't know, I don't think I passed that time either, but he let me slide, man. He said, go and take a seat. I sat on, I had a little attitude. The first time I heard Ray Myers speak, man, I was probably in the back. I was probably in the back like this, man. Mm-hmm. When Ray Myers walked in, and he gained the attention of the whole room, man. I tell you, when he walked in the room, man, everybody paid attention, man. Everyone was like, oh, he's here. I was in the very back, man. When he walked in, boom, he walked in, said a few things, man. This was me right here, man. Oh, this dude's the real deal, man. I didn't know his MOS. I didn't know what he did before the Marine Corps, or before going to Corpus course. I didn't know anything about the dude. All I know was he was Staff Sergeant Ray Myers. He was a drone starter. That's all I know. I didn't know what he did, deployments. I didn't know anything about it. I think I kind of figured out he was an 03, so that's probably why I had a bad attitude. Yeah. But, man, when he walked in that room, man, and just his presence, his command presence, man, I was like, oh, let me sit up straight for this dude, man. Like, man, he humbled me so much, man. And like, he would talk to me, man, about leadership, man, because, you know, I kind of had the leadership experience already. And when you're in 03, man, you get leadership experience at a really low level, right?
Yeah,
so he would talk to me and kind of leverage me to make the class better, and to kind of be a leader within the classroom amongst corpus. And the hardest thing to do, you know, as you know, is lead your peers.
Yeah.
That is hard to do. That's one of the hardest things in the Marine Corps to do, is lead your peers. So, yeah, graduated that, honor grad and gun ho, man. And still to this day, man, I keep in contact with Ray Myers, man. I just saw him last year. I just saw him. He's coming here this year for a football game, man. I still keep in contact with him, man. But yeah, so, you know, face adversity again. I didn't get major promoted to sergeant, even though I was, on paper, I was more qualified. Just me in general. I think, and so does everyone else think, that I was more qualified, but the other guy had college credits. That's why I didn't get it. So again, I was humbled again, man. You know, whatever, man. I took it to the chin, man, and I was like, what do I got to do to get better now? And I grinded. Then again, man, I accepted orders of 1-7, and man, it was a blessing, bro. Like, everything happened for a reason, and at the time, I think the monitor was doing it to kind of, I don't want to say screw me over, man, but he really didn't care at all, man. Like, but man, shout out to him now, man. Like
it worked out for the best.
Yeah, man, it worked out, man. Because we shined, bro. And I say we, man, we shined, bro. And you know, we did exceptionally well everywhere we went. In the Marines, man, that was probably my best duty station, man, just being around all of you, man. And I just talked to Reinhardt a couple of days ago, man. I just went down to Paris Island when Andrews was a drone set to go promote in the staff zone, man. He's in 2-7 now, man. I still keep talking with him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, Benavidez, I just talked to Q yesterday. Benavidez, talked to him last week, man. I'm still in a group text with First on Moore, who retired, Troy Schwanke, who got out, Q, Benavidez, Anthony. I'm still in the group text, man. The group text goes off every day. I wake up in the morning, I got like 12 to 15 text messages from him. I still talk to Lou Roger. Every once in a while I talk to Major Assassin. I still keep in close contact with Colonel Barnhart, Sergeant Major Anderson. Man, like, everybody from 1-7, man. Like, that was just the team, bro. Like, that was the best team that you know, I've had in the Marine Corps. And then I put in for AMY duty, which is this. And I didn't get selected. And again, humbled again, bro. Well, I think before that, man, I was humbled again, man. I went on a board to be meritorious gunner sergeant. I didn't get it. And, bro, I was crushed. Man, I was crushed. Because here I am, a staff sergeant, finna company gun billet, man, and the acknowledgments and endorsements that I had on that package, man. It was so bad, man, that the sergeants major that was on the board were calling my phone, man, telling me, bro, I just want you to hear from me that you won it. Like, it wasn't even close, man. You smoked the board, man. You were the number 1 pick, man. You got it. However, the number 2 person got it. And that happened, you know, more than once, man. Drone Tip of the Year. I let my boy Buck tell that story. But yeah, man, I was nominated for Drone Tip of the Year, and I smoked the competition, and I won it. But because I was meritorious promoted, Drone Tip of the Year comes with meritorious promotion. But because I was meritorious promoted for staff sergeant on the drill field, I couldn't be meritorious promoted again, apparently. So they gave the number 2 person. Right, humbled again. I didn't really take too much of it, man. I don't even think I was that upset, man. I think other people more upset than I was.
For
For the
first
Joint
one
yeah.
or the drill instructor?
Joint of the year, man. I was just grateful. The most rewarding, the most demanding, most rewarding thing I've ever done in my career. And the people I met, man. But I think like Ward and Buck were, and you know, other people were more pissed off than I was, man.
That's how you know you have good friends.
Yeah. But then when I think the first time that I felt really crushed was when I didn't get the Major promoted to Gunner Sergeant. And I was asking questions, man. The Regimental Sergeant Major came back from that board that night, and we met in his office at Regiment. And I said, Sergeant Major, what do I have to do to get better? Like, what was missing in my package? What did I not, you know? Is there anything that I can do? And he said, unless you get your tattoo removed, no. And I was like, what do you mean? So the only way I get Major promoted to Gunner Sergeant was because apparently I had too many tattoos. Which, again, if I would listen to Sergeant Major Davis, man, like, you know. But it worked out, man. Again, I got selected at the below zone, the Gunner Sergeant. And then I didn't get selected for AMY duty. So now I was placed in a position where I had to make a decision. So Sergeant Major Anderson actually offered me either stay in Animal Company and be a company guns again for the next deployment, or move up to H&S Company and be a company guns. I felt like I was losing the team in Animal Company, right? Yeah. A lot of you were getting out, man. Benavides was going to MSG duty. Q was going back to common instructor. Troy Schmark was getting out. First time over retiring. Major Alsasser went to go be weapons, man. Like I felt like I was, and went to not PPCG. He went to McTaug. Colonel Barnhart was leaving. I just felt like
you couldn't stay.
I was losing my team, man. And could I have been a continuity piece? I could have, man. Could have held together, maybe. But like all the incoming gunners started to be company guns, I felt that I would be a disservice to them because they haven't been a company gun before, right? So being a line company guns, man, like, man, you get slayed, bro. And like, it's rough, but it's also like one of the best positions that I've ever had, man. So I didn't want to take that opportunity away from them, and I really didn't, I guess, know or really fully understand what H&S did, except for, you know, supply, and support. So I was like,
new territory.
Yeah, man. Let me go see if I can do this thing here, man. You know, like I've already done Animal Company guns. Let me go see if I can do it over here too. And we did, man. I went to H&S Company guns. Was that, and then a hot field came out for AMY duty. I was in advanced course for Gunner Sergeant, and I got a phone call from now Major Larry Black, and he was like, "You gonna put in for it?" I said, "Man, I think it's a waste of time, man." And he was like, "I don't, like, put in for it." And I put in for it, man, and I got selected, man, and here I am. And I tell you, man, this right here has opened so many doors, man. And, you know, I was part of the initial process, I guess the entry-level phase for recruit training. And now I get a unique opportunity and experience to be part of the entry-level phase of an officer. And I get to put a little bit of tribellism, you know, on all the officers that get to the Marine Corps. So I don't know if it's a good thing.
Thank God.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, man. But you know, I just feel extremely blessed and grateful that I get the opportunity to develop, you know, the next generation of leaders, man. There's no better honor or no greater honor than to, you know, serve this great nation and to develop the youth or develop the next generation of leaders, man. To me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, and here I am, man. I've been extremely blessed for the opportunities I've had, man. Coach Justin Hickey, the men's rugby head coach here at Notre Dame, he offered me my first position, my first opportunity being a strength coach for a collegiate D1 prestigious level school at Notre Dame, man. My first opportunity, man. Nobody gets that. But yet, I don't know, man. He believed in me or saw something in me like everybody. I don't know, man. I just been, blessed to be surrounded by just good people, man. And so when I retire, man, that's what I want to do, man. Is go be a coach, man. Or work in player development, man. And it goes because I had great coaches, man, that really influenced and inspired me, man. Gus Felder, who is now at Nebraska, player development, man. Just great people, man, that I've been blessed and fortunate enough to be under and around and, serve with. So, yeah, that's my career, man.
15 years.
Yeah, that's 15 years, man. We still going, bro. And really, like I said earlier, is that the reason why I enlisted is different than the reason why I re-enlist. The reason why I stay in is not for me, man.
Yeah. That shows in the way that you present yourself, in the way that you show up, in the way that you talk. And when you said genuine concern and success for others, like, that was what you said was one of the biggest things about being a leader. And it's true because the guys who are under you want to know, like, that you give a fuck. You're going to do 100%. Whatever you can. And then, like, all right, well, if this guy's doing it for me, then, like, it'd be kind of shitty if I don't do it for him.
Yeah, and again, I learned that from Mike Brown and Kim Davis and DeAndre Gillen and Joe Pereira and, Ronnie Ellis and, Sid Gonzalez. I learned it from all them, man. Lieutenant Colonel Barnhart, Samuel Anderson, like everybody who, even, the toxic ones, man, or the poor leaders that I've had, man. Like, I've learned stuff from them, too. I learned how not to be.
Yeah, learn.
Put it in the notebook, man.
Yeah.
But, like, just for, the ones that I've been fortunate to come across, man, and learn from, man, and just, really people who believed in me, man, and kind of, paved the way for me, man. I think that when I tell my players the same thing, man, is I tell them that, y'all don't owe me anything, right? My return on investment is y'all being successful. That's it. If y'all are successful, man, that's it, man. That's all I want, is for y'all to be truly successful in life. Regardless of what you do, man. 4 years, 8 years, 20 years in the Marine Corps, doesn't matter, man. Whether you play, no matter what position you play on the field, no matter what sport you play, man, no matter how long you play in the game, man, it doesn't matter, bro. Like, just you being successful as a person. You being a better person. You being a better husband, father, person in general, individual, man. Better teammate, man. That's what matters to me, man. So, like, man, I owe it all to them, man. And now I feel that, like, I'm in a position now where I'm confident that I can provide, that overwatch and the oversight. And if need to, man, I can provide that suppressing fire on an objective, whether it be an individual or a position, man, for, those around me to, maneuver around, man. Like, that's it. And I will really do whatever I have to do for those around me, whether it be players or be Marines or sailors. It doesn't matter, man. Just people, people being successful, man, and that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, I agree. Beautifully said. Can you share one specific personal experience where you witnessed exceptional leadership, like a defining moment that might stick out to you of, like, you saw one of your leaders move and you're just like floored?
Man, I'll tell you, so, I've been surrounded by it for so long, man. I'll say the way Colonel Barnhart came into 1-7, okay? And the way that there's not a Marine in 1-7 during that time who would not run through a brick wall, who would not be willing to die for the person to the left and right of them, man. The way that he was able to receive the buy-in and lead the Marines from the top down, bro, like, that was exceptional leadership. To now retired Sparky Renforth. The way he came to Parris Island, man, and it was a hard time on Parris Island during that time, man. And he came in, man, he said something to me that I was like, man, that makes sense. He said, look, man, don't look at me as the commanding general. Don't look at me like that, man. I'm just the head coach.
Yeah.
Y'all are the players. The company commanders and the sergeants major and the leaders, those are the assistant coaches, man. I can't win it by myself. They can't win it by themselves. You can't win it by yourself. We need to win this thing together. You know?
Yeah.
So that right there was exceptional leadership, man. And I tell you, God, man, there's so many things that Mike Brown has done for me personally, man. So I've been arrested and went to jail twice inside the Marine Corps. Which not a lot of people know, man. And Mike Brown been there for both, man. And like I said, I was supposed to get NJP'd as a PFC, and I didn't for whatever reason, man.
Yeah.
I probably should have been NJP'd for the 2 times I got arrested. I probably should have been NJP'd for all the things that happened on the depot, you know. But I got taken care of, man. And you taking care of your people, it's exceptional leadership, man. There's no other way to really express it. It's just taking care of your people, man. Yeah. If one specific thing comes, it's just hard to point one specific thing, but if one, I consider to think about it, man. If one comes hits me, man, I'll definitely shout it out.
All right, sounds great. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a leader?
Biggest challenge I face as a leader. I think one of the challenges, lessons learned, me myself, is that you can't do this alone. So I'll go back to Parris Island. I think it was my last heavy cycle, man. Platoon 3090. The senior drill instructor had a baby. I think they had some complications or something, so he was out for like 2 weeks. It was already planned, right? And the third and fourth hat, man, that I had, or the drill instructor that I had, I just say that I don't want to say they weren't good drill instructors. They weren't, and probably wrong of me, man, but they weren't Triebell standard.
Yeah.
You know, and I made them tap, man. Like, I'll probably say, man, I was probably a terrible leader to them, man. And like I said, man, it was the most amazing thing I've ever done in my career. And I was by myself on 98 recruits at the drill instructor. And those who don't know the daily rhythm or daily routine of recruit training, it's up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're go, pedal to the metal, right? All gas, no brakes, until 8 o'clock p.m. You know? And there's a reason why there's 3, 4, 5, 6 hat teams, man. You need that break. But I went about 2 weeks, man, by myself. And I think I still walk that fine line of confidence and arrogance. Because I knew I was good, man. I was very good. But I didn't realize that you can be good by yourself, but if you want to be great, you need people. And man, I by myself, man, and man, I was a walking zombie. And I remember, I think some of the officers were like, we got to get Triebell help over there. And Ward and Buck were like, nah, he gonna learn. He gonna learn. And me, man, I always learn the hard way. He gonna learn, man. And boy, they taught me a life lesson, man. How we need people. So that was a challenge for me, man. Accepting that I couldn't do it by myself, man. I needed a team. You need people to be successful. And that was one of my biggest challenges, man.